Hi, good morning and welcome. My name is Sue Morris and I'm a clinical nurse educator at the New Brunswick Heart Center. And today I wanted to review the Heart and Stroke Resuscitation Portal with prospective instructors. So allow me to share my screen. And so here we are at the login page. So if you just type in Heart and Stroke Resuscitation Portal into Google, it will take you to the Heart and Stroke site. So I'm putting my ID and my login, and it will take you to the main page. So on the main page, it says welcome, and it gives you your credentials. So if you're a BLS instructor, an ACLS instructor, if you are a student and you've done previous courses, it will state what is current. And so this is the main page. If I click on my courses, this will show all of the courses that I've ever taught. And so, for example, let's just click on to one. This is a BLS provider. And when I click on to the provider course, it will tell me what the date and time of the course was, the course ID. It will give me details. And if I click on the roster, I can see who was present for this course. And in my place of employment, we do not offer this, enter this data ourselves. Our admin directors do, our admin support does. But if you are teaching for a private company or teaching for yourself, you will be expected to put this information in the portal. So I'm going to click back here to the home page. And let's say I would like to create a course. So I can go either under my courses here, or I can click on my profile up here and I can see my courses. So I've clicked on my courses, and now I'm going to click create a course. So I have the first drop-down menu is whether this is public or private. And if I want people to register online for it, I need to make it public. Most of mine are private because I teach within a corporation. So we're just going to make this public. Pick the course date. So let's pick Christmas Day. Time that you're going to start and the zone. And then registration deadline, I always put as the same day as my course is. But if you want to ensure that you know who's going to attend this, you can put a registration deadline 2 or 3 days prior to your course. You can provide in French or English. And then you're going to select the program, whether it's BLS, whether it's Heart Saver, CPR for the public, First Aid, ACLS, PALS, or pairs. And so we'll click BLS. Then it's going to ask you the level. And you are only allowed to pick the level that you are certified to provide. So for most of you, it will be BLS provider. For myself, it's BLS provider and instructor. So let's click provider. Then it's going to ask you, what type is this? Is this a blended learning type? Is this a basic provider, the initial course, or is this a renewal course? So we'll click BLS provider, the province that it's offered in, and then I type where I teach. I teach in the outpatient cardiac cath clinic, and I'm just going to type that in. My postal code is E2L4L4. my course fee is 0, so I'm going to put 0.00. But if you're charging a fee, put your fee in here. The course duration, so for a full course, is 4 hours. My maximum student capacity for BLS is 12. Now here you can click online registration. That way the student can go in and register for the course, or if you want to register them yourself, then you would click no. So your choice. Primary contact, my name, my information, and any other instructors who might be teaching with me. If I wanted to look up other instructors, I can type in a search here. Now, if you are an experienced instructor, oftentimes they will grant you monitoring status. What that means is you can monitor an instructor candidate once they have completed the classroom component of the instructor course. So many of you will not have this available, or it will be grayed out. But if monitoring is available, then I could click yes. And that way a prospective instructor could go in and search the portal to see if there were any monitoring courses available. This vaccination policy just gives you the most up-to-date policy with regard to COVID-19 vaccine. And currently we request that students be fully vaccinated, but really that is at your discretion. How do you obtain training materials? I usually provide them for my students, so I will usually type obtain from Sue. Or if it's an ACLS course that I'm offering, I will often type in, please obtain from Heart and Stroke Foundation. And then I will put the phone number of 506-634-1620. And that way the student can call and purchase their manual. I also will show you where the student can shop from this portal. And then I would click create. And so it'll take a moment for it to create. And so it has told me BLS provider course. It gives me the course identification number, gives me the date and the time, and it gives all of the details that I have entered. If I need to edit that, I can go back into edit and change any of these. And I am going to click cancel course, and it's going to ask why. I'm just going to put mistakenly entered. And I will cancel the course. So let's go back to our home. So that's how you would create a course. Online courses. So every 5 years, the resuscitation guidelines are updated. And you will be asked to go in and do an online course to familiarize yourself with any of the new materials, any of the new guidelines. And you can see here that my core training is completed. My BLS product and course orientation are completed. My ACLS product and course orientation are completed. Any free courses that are available to me are also here. And it also shows anything that I have done in the past. So these are online courses. This is where if you are a prospective instructor, you would go in and do your core training prior to attending a classroom session for your instructor training. So online courses, Heart and Stroke tend to put anything they want you to review in here under online courses. So again, I'll click on the little heart up in the corner. That will take us back to our main page. If I click on my certifications, it just tells me what I'm certified in, what has expired, and so forth. So click on my heart again and create a course. We have already done that, so you can do it in 2 spots. You can do it under my courses or create a course. Your profile just gives you the details of who you are, gives you your personal demographic information. Here are my invoices. And so invoices are what you owe Heart and Stroke. So currently I have 2 outstanding. So I kept these so I could show you on my video today. So I have one for $14 and one for $7. If I click on view invoice, it will give me the information of the roster that I submitted. So I will go in later today and pay those. So just you can use a credit card. And so if I wanted to pay these, I'm going to click on them. Credit card, pay scheduled invoices. And I would do that. I won't do it online, of course, but and then I would go ahead and do it in that fashion. So I'm going to go back to the main page and take you to my contacts. My contacts is a really lovely benefit of this portal. It is everybody you have ever put in your portal. It is their contact information. So I have 407 pages of people that I have taught in the past. It's a nice way to try and get a hold of people. Under shop, when you click shop, it takes you to a nice spot. Just remember that you are only able to purchase the things that you teach. So if you are not an ACLS instructor, you will not be able to purchase an instructor kit. You will be able to purchase an instructor or a provider manual, but not the instructor material. So purchasing from your Heart and Stroke Foundation may be the easiest way. Oftentimes, companies will share instructor resources. So you may have one instructor kit for your program or for your teaching resource, and we just share it amongst ourselves. So let's click on BLS. And so it takes a minute to load here. And then it will show you what you can purchase. So I can buy an instructor kit, $179. So it comes with the provider manual, comes with this nice little book like this, and you can see up in my video. I really like this emergency cardiovascular care handbook. It's a great resource, not just for ACLS, but also for all things related to resuscitation. So in this kit, you get your instructor manual, you get the provider manual, you get some cards, and you get the USB that has all of the videos on it that you will show as an instructor. And here is the basic kit that doesn't come with all of these things, and you can just buy the USB video. So when you purchase these, just make sure when you look in your credit card and you're wondering, who is Gilmore.ca? That is the billing company that this goes through. And prices are pretty standard between purchasing from Heart and Stroke Foundation and purchasing from Gilmore. These will be delivered directly to your mailing address that you provide. So that's kind of nice. But they also provide you with digital components too. You can buy the ACLS manual in print form, or you can also buy it as a digital download. So for those people who like to read on their iPad, it may be an option. And just remember that students may come to your courses with an iPad because they don't have the actual print book. They have it in digital format. So let's go back to our main portal. Oops, sorry. My computer is slow today, pardon me. Sorry about that. Just going to keep going back here. Doesn't want me to leave the shopping area. Okay, so here we are. Agreements and policies. So these are all of the heart and stroke policies that pertain to resuscitation. They're a really good resource. You will have to go through and agree that you have reviewed and kept track of what is happening currently and any changes that might be happening. So here is agreements, policies, anything related to heart and stroke resuscitation. There are a plethora of policies there that you can take a peek at. They're really helpful as a new instructor, and I really quite appreciate them. Here are instructor fees. So this just basically outlines what you have to pay annually or what you need to pay to become an instructor. And I will be honest, it is getting a little pricey. So there's application fee, then there is a core training fee, then the instructor will charge a fee. Does become a little bit pricey. However, the benefit is you can turn it into a fairly profitable program, but you can also provide that as a community resource to people in your community. So I like to do an annual basic life support recertification for my mayor and members of the council. And I often do Girl Guides and Pathfinders. So it's really nice to be able to give back to your community in that way. And I honestly, I feel that BLS is a life skill that everybody needs to acquire, and I think it's very important. I educate my children, my family, and I certify them annually. So it's there's fees related to it, but it honestly it turns into a very rewarding experience when you can give back. Record keeping. So it just talks about the requirements, what you need to keep available in case somebody from Heart and Stroke wanted to monitor you. So you need to keep their checklist, the student answer sheets, and any of your attendance. Those are the important things that you need to keep. Now, insurance is a new thing, and I don't claim to know much about it yet, as that is very new for 2021. And so there is a plan available to us as instructors who are teaching outside of a corporation or outside of our place of employment, where you can purchase, it's $200 annually, and it gives you coverage under specific circumstances when you are delivering training. So you can click to download the brochure. You can also call this number if you're interested in finding out more information. So here we are back. Resources. I'm going to come back to that because that's a big one that I want to review. Instructor status. So if you have applied to be an instructor, then this will give you an update as to what your status is, what part of the process that you are currently in. Monitoring is for me as an instructor trainer. I can go in and see who has requested monitoring, but you as an instructor candidate can also go in here and request monitoring. My help request, that's just kind of an online help. And then keys. When I click on keys, I have nothing here, but if you were offering blended learning for BLS or ACLS and you purchased keys, so you could click here to purchase, and basically this just outlines the blended learning. This is where the student will be assigned a number or a key. They will go in and they will do the online component of the course. That is considered part one. And then you, as the instructor, will offer part two. Part two is where they actually come in and demonstrate the skills. The nice part about blended learning is it is less time consuming for you as an instructor. Now it is a little pricey. You can see that the ACLS blended learning online is $85 per student, and that the blended learning for BLS is $35 a student. So it's a little pricier. Sometimes your corporations or your universities will purchase these. The nice part about it, as I said, is it's very it's very easy for the instructor to be able to manage this because it is far less time consuming than teaching a full regular course. So blended learning might be something that your facility looks into. And then let's go back to resources, because there are lots of resources. So again, you can hit policies, and all of the policies are here. If you need the logo to put on a invoice or something for an outside purchaser, then you can use the logo, but it also talks about the constraints of using the Heart and Stroke logo or the conditions. So under core resources, if I click interim training, basically what that does is interim training is what is available to you as an instructor during guideline changes. And so a lot of times our print material, all of the time, our print material lags behind the guidelines. So the guidelines are published every 5 years. So they were last updated in 2020. And the materials have just become available in the last probably 8-9 months. So there was a period of time where the guidelines had changed, but the course materials had not caught up. So Heart and Stroke will put on some interim training materials. And so they would all be listed there. We don't need to use them right now because all of our material is current. Under general forms, I actually use this a fair amount. So if you click on the first one, the certificates, continuing medical education certificate for physicians, if you click on it, so you can do English or French, it downloads, and then you can fill that out. And I'm not sure how well this is going to project on my screen, but this is a certificate of attendance. A lot of people have 2 employers and they need this certificate of attendance. So it's actually a fillable PDF that you can print. So student's name, you can do a drop-down menu here that shows BLS, ACLS, or PALS, and then you can put the date, print it off, and sign it. So you can use that for your students. I'm just going to go back to general forms and resources. I'm not sure why there is one for family physicians and one for the Royal College, and why there isn't just one for general healthcare providers. So I use the one for family physicians for all of my students. Course roster. So you fill this out. It's just the course information, and then you get your students to fill in all of the data here so that you have their demographic in case you need to put that into the portal. Instructor monitoring form, so that would be for me as an instructor trainer. And then there are course resources, which I think you will find valuable. So there are for Heart Saver, for basic life support. So here's your equipment list. Here is a letter that you can send to students. There's a sample agenda. The resources for the BLS course are also included here. So it gives you the table of evidence or science behind many of the guidelines. And there are also some critical skills checklists that are here. So I would strongly encourage you to go through and take a peek at the materials that are in here. The nice thing about this is the exams are also housed on here. So if you don't have them on a memory stick or on your computer, you can go on to the portal and download the student answer sheets and exam A and B. And it does the exact same thing for advanced life support and just takes you through all of those resources. So I use the resource part of the portal quite frequently. So I think you will find that valuable. And so a lot of times students will ask me, oh my goodness, you want me to do a pre-test for ACLS? Where do I find that? The easiest way is to click on programs. Then it will give you kind of a schematic of how people advance. So general population can be taught Heart Saver and first aid. Basic healthcare provider gets BLS. The intermediate healthcare provider, so those working in an acute care setting like internal medicine floor or surgical floor, PAIRS is a good course for them. And then advanced healthcare providers will take advanced cardiac life support, advanced cardiac life support experience provider. So that's more of a challenge for people who have done numerous ACLS courses. And then there is the pediatric advanced life support. So if they want any information on any of these courses, they just come and click on. So let's go to advanced life support. And so there are tabs along here that tell you. So if I click on ACLS provider, it gives me data about the course, what are the credentials, my prerequisites, what materials I need, and it tells me how long it should take to complete. When we scroll, here is a provider course. Here is the experienced provider course. And students are expected, when they take an ACLS course, to do a self-assessment. And so when you click on self-assessment, you scroll down and it says take pre-course self-assessment. When I click on this, it will take me to a 60-word quiz or a 60-question quiz that the student is mandated to complete prior to attending an ACLS course. So this is very heavy in cardiac rhythms and a lot of medications. So if I click on Start Learning Now, it will take me to my first question. So it says content is loading. I click Start. Remember to fully scroll to the bottom. Hit Continue. I'm going to start my quiz. And it tells me 1 out of 60, and it gives me a rhythm. And so I need to click on that. So I look at my rhythm and I click, and then I hit submit. So this is really quite a nice little program, and you can take it at any time. So direct your students to go into programs. Now I'm going to try and get out of here. To go up here to programs, and that will take them to the ACLS. So that is your resuscitation portal. It's really quite a nice resource. There are lovely, lovely pop-ups here at the bottom. Talk about feedback devices, talk about COVID-19, but there's some really great information. And as an instructor and an instructor trainer, I probably access this, I would say, at least once a week, and I'm not even responsible to put my programs in the portal. We have admin support at Horizon Health that will do that for us. But I go in, I often go to resources, and I always look to see if there is anything new. Nice thing about being an instructor with Heart and Stroke is they will send you an email reminder. Hey, there's a new online course, or there's new data available for this. I know that in New Brunswick, Norbert, our resuscitation coordinator, is really, really good at sending us out an email to say, hey, here's a new clinical trial just recently published. So it's really nice to be able to keep up to date. So thank you for your attention, and have a great day.